Hello and welcome to Cornish Walking Trails. Today we're in the Helford and we're going to walk to Manaccan, a secular 5-mile walk.
So for our walk today we've parked here. This is the Helford Village long stay car park. It's a nice big car park. It's September 2021 and it's £4.30 to park all day.
Our walk today is taken from shortish walks on and around the Lizard. It's walk number 10, Manaccan and Dennis Head from Helford. Helford is on the River Helford, east of Helston. So the book tells us that mostly footpaths and some country lanes will be walked on today, and woodland with some muddy patches. Look forward to them. Beautiful views over Gillan Creek and Helford River, as well as sea views from Dennis Head. So we need to now head down into Helford village itself. We're here quite early, as you can tell by that beautiful morning light. It has a different quality. Just as a bonus video on Patreon, there is our lunch and what we thought about it at the Holy Mackerel Cafe near the car park.
Yeah, and a wander through Helford village itself. So Sarah, something that is very evident to me is the roads are quite narrow, and there are signs of hittage. Anyway,
get back.
Back. Come back. There we are, as if to illustrate. Wide car, narrow track.
Every time we try to get down here.
Here is evidence of hittage. It's a new word. It's not in the dictionary.
What did you call it?
Hittage.
Hittage.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh. You know, this time next year it will be in the dictionary. Another one. Anyway, did you see the tractor pulling the speedboat?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a lovely old tractor as well.
This is the road. One vehicle has just looked at it and said, nah, not going through that, mate. He was the one that thought, no, so there must be another road.
Must be loops around the back there.
Yes, and this is just a shortcut.
I could watch cars reversing all day long, Sarah.
Only word I can think of is idyllic.
It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? It's early in the morning. Not many people around.
No.
It's perfect. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Birds are waking up, the world is waking up, people are waking up, aren't they? The dew's still on that car over there. The fishes are just popping up, aren't they? Making those little swells on the water. See them there? Right at the surface of the water. So today's walk is going to head up through Woodland towards Manaccan. Manaccan is a tiny little village and it's got a fantastic story about a fig tree, a fantastic fig tree. We're walking away from the Helford village, still next to a thatched cottage. From memory, this bit gets a bit muddy. It's been quite dry recently, so fingers crossed. Oh dear, it's making me puff, quite a steep climb. Whew. It's not too bad, thankfully.
I've got an interesting fact that'll make you go, ooh! So Daniel Defoe, who was a famous 18th century author, he actually wrote Robinson Crusoe. He visited Cornwall in the early part of the 1700s, and he was told a story about Helford and daring deeds at sea. So apparently there was a boat that went from Helford, and it had a man and 2 boys on it.
Okay.
Right? And there was a violent storm that whipped up. They got washed away from the Helford, and within 7 hours they ended up on the Isle of Wight.
Good grief!
Right, and for whatever reason, one of the lads ended up steering the boat.
Yeah.
And he had to get safely into the Isle of Wight, and he managed to do it. Actually managed to navigate it there, and actually, I don't know, do you park up a boat? I'm not sure. Anyway, he got there safely.
More a boat.
More a boat. You don't park it, do you?
No.
No. And they were particularly impressed, A, because he was such a young lad and he managed to pull it off, and also their cargo, which involved quite a lot of brandy,
was safe.
got there intact.
Ooh, quite interesting.
I think it's true anyway. I'm sure I read it in a book.
And the other author that stayed down here, of course, is Daphne du Maurier.
Of course.
And she wrote Frenchman's Creek, inspired by the creek over, which we've done in another video, so we're not going that way today. We're going straight up to Manaccan.
That was a lovely walk, and it's,
yeah,
I know we say it ourselves, but it's an enjoyable video, so we'll leave a link to that one at the end.
Yeah.
Was that the one where Joan Fontaine was the lead character?
Yes, that's the one.
Frenchman's Creek?
You'll have to watch the video.
Yeah, but the reviews on the video are gushing.
I think that's what you used in the video.
It was. They don't get any better, do they? No. Joan Fontaine.
Come on. If you've been watching regularly, you'll notice we've done several historic town walks recently, and it's such a joy to be back out in the woodland. Not a soul to be seen. Cornwall is really busy at the moment, and it's just such a joy to feel like you're the only people in the world again. So I'm really enjoying this walk so far.
It's just nice to be out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen to the sounds of nature.
I know. Replenish the soul.
It's that time of year where summer becomes autumn, isn't it?
Yeah, we're on that cusp, aren't we?
Crisp, beautiful, calm, clear morning. A few leaves starting to drop though, have you noticed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Soon we'll be lighting the fires and wrapping up presents for Christmas. So from the field it says it merges onto a lane. Cross and take the public footpath that leads to Manaccan, and a car's just gone down there. So we are on track. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Find the public footpath to Manaccan.
Okay.
I think it's over there.
Okay. See how well worn the start is?
Yeah, look at that. It's got a real dip in the bottom one there, hasn't it? Here we go, heading towards Manaccan. So the school is back there. We're looking for the church. And all I can see, which is such a shame, are beautiful cottages, slate roof, thatch roof, just nestled into this creekside. There is some water around here as well somewhere that we're going to follow in a minute. Ah, there it is. I found the church. So we go into the churchyard now, and we're looking for this fig tree. How old is it? Do you know how old it is?
It's over 200 years old.
So part of the reason that we've come here today, on a September day, the season of autumn fruitfulness, is to find some figs on this fig tree, isn't it?
It's almost like we plan these things.
Oh, you never guess, would you? Oh, dog in the way, I can't move.
They probably figured that out.
Ah! So I think that's it, there it is, right in front of us at the bottom of the tower is the fig tree. Oh my goodness, it's not as big as I thought it would be. But it's part of the church. You can't see its trunk. It's amazing. So we have this book, Cornish Curiosities. It's kind of brought together all those little idiosyncratic buildings that exist in Cornwall and other things, including a unique fig tree at Manaccan. And it says, perched saucily on a hillside, Manaccan is a delight. The church's dedication to Saint Manacca is almost certainly an invention. In Cornish, Mana means monk and An means the. So Manaccan is simply the monk. A record of 1893 described on the south side of the tower is a large fig tree growing out of the church wall, more than a century old, with a trunk 18 inches or half a metre in diameter. Its roots penetrated the thickness of the wall. It's still here, so who planted it? Why? Now more than 2 centuries old, taking full advantage of the Cornish sun, it has flourished in the symbiotic relationship with the church, rooting in the rubble infill of the solid Norman walls and penetrating beneath the benches inside. But be careful, ill luck befalls anyone who picks figs from the tree. That book's piqued my curiosity. I want to see if we can find any evidence of the roots. So it's on that wall over there. Oh, there's ivy coming through the roof. There's the leaves casting a shadow. No evidence of damage. It's a very dark church, but it's allowing the sunlight to kind of spotlight and fracture colour from the stained glass window onto the walls. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. A very curious little story that made us smile when we read it comes from our King's England book from the 1930s, where they gathered stories from local villages. And it says of Manaccan Church that the pulpit has a little old wood carving at its base, and there is more in the arms and backs of 2 chairs in the chancel. The tale is told of this pulpit that the preacher was once telling from it the story of St Paul's shipwreck at Malta, describing the sailors casting their anchors from the stern of the ship, when a Cornish sailor in the pews called out, all wrong, bad seamanship." He knew that in English practice the anchor should have been cast from the bow. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't it make you smile? Someone at the back there going, all wrong, and it wound him up enough to shout out in church.
I had a little look in there. I can't see any evidence of the roots coming through.
No, it's really dark in there. Did you notice the ivy?
I did, coming down from the roof. Did you film that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I tried to anyway. It's quite dark in there.
Looks like straggly hair.
It does.
It's quite unkept.
But otherwise, the building looks in really good condition, doesn't it? I do think, though, because the King's England book would confirm that to a certain extent. In there, they say that the fig tree was going up to the battlements of the tower.
I'm coming to join you.
But now, I think that they've actually pruned it back quite hard. And that's how you rejuvenate a tree, isn't it? It's probably why it's so old.
So I had a good rummage through the bush.
Nothing.
Is it a bush?
It's a tree.
It's a tree? Okay. I had a good rummage through the tree and I couldn't find any figs.
No, I couldn't either.
So they've obviously removed them.
Well,
to stop bad luck.
Or through horticulture, they'll come next year because they don't grow on new wood.
Ah, okay.
Right.
So you think they've just pruned it back really harshly?
I do.
Okay.
I'm being dragged.
Okay.
I'll show you actually what I mean.
Okay.
So if we follow this little branch back, it's all green, sappy growth. And I think that is from this year. And it's all that thin, green, sappy growth. Oh, there's the trunk, right back there. Right in the middle, you can see the original trunk. So if you've cared for a fig tree, you might know better than me, far better than me. I've never looked after a fig tree. Do you need to have old wood for the flowers to come on? Is that when they come in spring? Are they coming from last year's growth? And if it was hacked back last year, hasn't got the old growth to sprout flowers from? That's my thinking anyway. Let us know in the comments.
Can I just say, this is one of the places I've really wanted to come to.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
And it's a really inspiring place. The walk says go out through the church without going down into Manaccan. And that, to me, would be a cardinal sin.
So we're going to go and find some pretty cottages?
Yeah!
Okay. I know, one's called the square house and one's called the triangle. It's fabulous. Couldn't make it up, could you?
The house behind you is called the round.
So what have we got?
The round, the square and the triangle, it's almost like play school. Do you remember play school? Which window are we going to go through? The arch window, the square window, the round window? Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? So we have another reference with us today. It's the WI book that gathered stories as well, but at a later date than the King's England one. And it says of Manaccan that the vicarage dates from the mid-17th century. A former incumbent, the Reverend Pole Wheel, was a Cornish historian who corresponded with Sir Walter Scott and entertained Captain Bligh of the Bounty. Captain Bligh was arrested whilst surveying the River Helford and was held captive in the vicarage for several hours. The reason he was arrested is that the militia thought that he was a French spy and that his surveying of the Helford River was up to no good. The vicar was out, so they arrested him, took him to the vicarage and locked him up. When he explained to the vicar what had been going on, the vicar then said, "Have dinner, come and sup some wine," and apparently they had a right old riot of an evening. The Captain Bligh is best known for his ship and the mutiny on the Bounty, and that happened in 1789. So I wonder if that was before or after his arrest in Manaccan. That's the old vicarage.
Yeah, it's quite private, isn't it?
Very private.
Can't really film it.
No.
What I do know is that Fletcher Christian, who instigated the mutiny on the Bounty, they obviously were on the Bounty, and then they actually came across some islands, and those islands were called the Pitcairn Islands. Pitcairn Islands, yeah. And they settled there, they lived there, and lots of the children and ancestors of that are called Christian.
Wow!
Yeah.
So they took his surname?
Yeah.
He fathered loads of children?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So as we're walking down here and towards the creek, we're going to be looking for evidence of mills. Apparently there was 5 mills in Manaccan, water mills, 2 of which were tucking mills. And I didn't know what a tucking mill was, so I asked my mum, who has a friend whose dad used to work in a place near Camborne called Tucking Mill, in a factory where they prepared and made rope. And it wasn't called tucking at the time, it was called ticking. So over time that ticking has become tucking and tucking mill. Now we also looked up online, Google has it as a cleansing process and dressing for the textile industry and fabric. So perhaps a Cornish version of ticking or tucking is different.
Yeah, possibly. Isn't
So
it?
we will be looking out for any footprints that might be around of old water mills.
Do you think there might have been one here then?
Yeah.
I think you might be right. Looks like it, doesn't it?
It
definitely
does,
a river or
because there's
stream
a chute over there,
yeah,
look.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't look like you can open it. Dog's alright, he can go through. Gate closing device.
Yeah, I want you to examine the
looks like a bit of stick. Oh, it is a bit of stick.
A little bit of stick, yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Well, I can't get through there.
Can you not?
No, you won't get through there either.
I'm stuck.
Hang on.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Anything else?
Do you know, that darn well works, doesn't it? Absolutely amazing. Look at this. Marguerites on the wall tumbling down to the water. A few boats just abandoned at the creek. Wonderful old gnarled oak tree dipping its boughs into the water. So what does it say?
It says when you reach a lane, which we did, turn left and follow it along the creekside to a remarkable little harbour where St Anthony's Church is almost on the beach. So we've come out at that point there. There is a National Trust sign for Gillan Creek, which obviously just follows the creek down. So basically we can stay on the road Or we can just walk along the little path.
And
here.
hope that it scrambles up at some point.
Sure it would. Sure it would.
Okay, I'm up for that.
Oh yeah. Okay. I think that might fail.
Wow. Love looking at trees as you look up the trunk. See all the branches that it supports. This is like a cathedral of a tree. Wow. Rejoining the road.
Well, that worked.
It did. Just digging deep to do these chunky steps. Whew. For this walk, I think St Anthony-in-meneage is about halfway. After we leave St Anthony-in-meneage, we'll just go along the south coast of the Helford River. I don't know how long for. We'll find out. There's some secret coves over there. Looking forward to those as well. Sea glass time.
Couple of things.
Yeah.
It's a house there called Turnip House. So it gives off a bad smell. Secondly, there's not enough wind for the helicopter boat to take off. We are at the church, Sarah, St Anthony-in-meneage. It's right on the beach. There's a couple of interesting things actually. One thing I'll tell you, which I don't think you know already, is the stone isn't local stone.
Oh, is it not?
No, it's come across from France.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
I did read it in a book. I will see if I can find it in the book. Picked up this book the other day. This is called Around the Helford. It's an old book by Bob Acton. It's written in the 1990s. And it says, the granite in the church tower is of a type found in Normandy, but not Cornwall. So there may be a germ of truth in the legend that the church was founded as a thank offering to their saint by shipwrecked Normans. St Anthony was Egyptian, since his emblem was a pig. Local people rejoice in the nickname of St Anthony Pigs, and their parish feast, the 26th of December, is called Piggy Feast.
Oh, I love that. Piggy feast.
I'm looking for the door on the tower, which is quite small. What do you notice down here?
Oh, look at this. Looks like a cat flap.
Yeah, and it's referred to as a doggy door. A dog
Okay.
door. However, it's very small, isn't it?
Yeah, our
So
dog wouldn't fit through
wouldn't
there,
fit
would
through that,
he?
Others call it a cat flap.
Yes.
And apparently in the 1880s, there were hens going in and out of here.
Why?
They were roosting in the belfry. You see what this is?
A chain. Oh, is that for your
Big
dog?
chain. Not for your dog. No, it's a useful bench or something like that. No, the stocks were attached to that.
Oh!
Yes. So
My
naughty
goodness
people.
me. So
were
you were right
in
in the
stocks.
gateway.
Yeah, for everybody to see.
It's for everybody to see. So
Yeah.
the chain is there. Gateway's there. Wow.
The other interesting things are inside. Oh, feels very homely, doesn't it?
Candles. So you've not got any electric?
It's interesting you say that. Here's a book. It tells you all about it.
The book tells me two things struck the authors, both as being unusual. These candle sconces with nearly 150 candles lighting the church, and they were wondering if it even has any electricity in here. I can't see any evidence of it. There's no light switches. Or is there?
One here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's for the porch, I reckon, don't you? There we go. Oh wow.
I'm filming a light switch. Steps to nowhere, Sarah. What's that all about?
Where's my horse? horse.
Mounting steps.
Yeah, I want my Gigi.
You've got a dog?
Yeah.
Come on, stop horsing around. We've got a walk to do.
We're going up here.
Yeah. So it tells us coast path, public footpath, Helford, 2 3/4 miles.
One of the reasons we walked all the way out to the Dennis was for the view. The other one, there is a story that says this was the last place a battle was fought during the English Civil War. So the Roundheads and fought the Cavaliers, the Royalists, all the way down from London, and this is the last battle here.
Sounds like a Wookiee. Can you do that again? Everybody close your eyes at home.
It didn't do it!
Not as dramatic, do it again.
That's brilliant!
I could stand here all day doing this. How annoying is this for people in the video? Do it again.
I love it! I love it! I love it!
Enough.
Come on, little Vicky. And that's dedicated to our son James. Next time you're down, darling, we'll come and show you the Wookiee gate.
Sarah, Michael Portillo don't do that. Or Julia Bradbury. No. I don't think I've ever found a Wookiee gate.
I love how the plants have kind of spilled out of the estate nearby and just propagated almost up to the path, and it's only because of walkers constantly hitting and battering them, it's keeping them in check. Got very sidetracked there, picking up some sea glass, some beautiful pieces, so quite pleased with what I've got, but we must crack on, get back to Helford before they sell out of all the food in the village. Just across the river there you catch a glimpse of Durgan at the bottom of Glen Durgan Gardens, so we're in line with that now, not far to go.
Coast Bath, to village and ferry, up steps, Arrow. We're back in the car park. The end of our walk.
Our walk today is taken from shortish walks on and around the Lizard. It's walk number 10, Manaccan and Dennis Head from Helford. Very quick look at the map. We parked in Helford, went up through the woodland, crossed a field and ended up in Manaccan, a beautiful village, explored the church and then picked up Gillan Creek all the way to St Anthony-in-meneage and beyond to Dennis Head. The walk back along the south bank of the Helford River took us all the way back to the car park. Our 5-mile circular walk, starting in the Helford, took us basically over the headland to Gillan Creek at Manaccan, picked up the creek, walked all the way out as far as we could go, and then came back on the south shore of the Helford River.
Yeah, we've done quite a bit of walking on the north shore, but not a lot on this side.
No.
And it's gorgeous. We've had a fantastic day. So our booking that we were using today, the instructions are really good.
Yeah, everything worked.
Yeah, there's a nice map in there.
As a kind of layout, it doesn't give you a lot of history about that, so it's always going to be a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could never score that perfect 10. What would you score it?
Yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. I've had
I
a
agree.
thoroughly wonderful day out, and we'd certainly
Brilliant.
recommend you pay a visit to the Helford.
I agree. And just as a bonus video on Patreon, there is our lunch and what we thought about it at the Holy Mackerel Cafe near the car park.
Yeah, and a wander through Helford Village itself. If you've enjoyed today's video, then please leave a like, perhaps send us a comment, and if you haven't done so already, please press that subscribe button. It really helps us out.